Well, every time Tom Brady was involved in an NFL season, we would assume the Super Bowl was in the mix in week one. As Brady takes the Fox booth week one in Cleveland for the first time as a broadcaster, we know this will be his 11th Super Bowl season because he will be calling the Super Bowl for the NFL on Fox with our first guest up here on the NFL Schedule Release Show, the Emmy-nominated both categories this year, Kevin Burkhardt. Good to see you, Kevin. How are you, sir?
Rich, always good to be back. And, Tom said the other day, he had a good line. It's like, yeah, it'll be the Super Bowl at the end of the year, but it'll be the first time that I actually know I'm going to be in the Super Bowl before week one. So that's a little different. The only thing different for him, probably, right?
So, but does he plan to start a broadcast with you with Crazy Train in the background? Is it gonna be the usual things? You could just start screaming, "Let's go" and things of that nature in the booth, or just
I can only hope
straight?
so.
Yeah.
I sure hope that's how we start. Maybe if that part makes the air, I don't know. But even a few minutes for the game starts before we're on the air, get it going so the booth, we get pumped up. He just may have to let go of the F and LFG.
Yes. Standards and practices,
Might have to let that one go.
That exists in the new world for him, although not on the Brady roast night. At any rate, let's discuss the games on Fox. We already know about the Cowboys and Browns. You're going to see the Cowboys 2 weeks later for the first ever meeting between Lamar and Dak, and that's fantastic for a matchup right out of the gate for you guys.
Yeah, Rich. I mean, it is like Christmas morning, right? We're all stoked when the schedule comes out, but our first 2 months are pretty epic, especially in late September and early October. So we have Lamar and the Ravens at Dallas, week 3. Week 6 is the Lions at Dallas. It was maybe the most entertaining regular season game last year. And then the next week, Super Bowl rematch, Chiefs at 49ers. So, I mean, that's about as good as you can get. And my people at Fox told me it's the first time we've ever had a Super Bowl rematch, which I couldn't believe. But I'm pretty thrilled to get to be a small part of this one. So it's a heck of a first couple months for us.
Yeah, it's only the 8th time there's been a Super Bowl rematch the year right after both teams played in one, and it's just the first time. It's the first time ever we're seeing it in back-to-back seasons. When the Eagles and the Chiefs played last year, what other games jumped out at you when you looked at the list?
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. I mean, I love. We have Detroit a little later in the season. We've got Detroit at Green Bay, and then San Francisco at Green Bay. I mean, that's about as good as you get, right? I mean, rivals, and then the divisional rematch with San Francisco and Green Bay that we did. So I just can't wait to get going. We've got a lot of good ones. But I looked at the first couple of months specifically, and those are through those games that I mentioned are all through week 9, I think. So it's pretty cool. I think just getting going even in week 1, Rich, as you said, with Tom and kind of getting the ball rolling I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and you've got a couple of NFC East matchups. One in week 17, maybe it is for the title. It's entirely possible. I'm sure Commanders and Giants fans might push back, but Cowboys at Eagles is a dynamite week 17 game on your docket. And then there's Thanksgiving. You'll be spending Thanksgiving with Tom Brady in Dallas for the Giants at the Cowboys as well.
Yeah, we had Giants Dallas a couple years ago on Thanksgiving, and that was the first time I got a chance to do a Thanksgiving game, and those games are really special. I mean, there's just a different feel to it and a vibe, growing up watching Pat and John all those years. So thrilled to be a part of that. And then Dallas Philly is as good as it gets. I mean, I grew up in the East Coast with NFC East territory, so for me, I hope it's snowing. I hope the weather's bad. I hope it's a slugfest. So yeah, it's a good way to basically end the season. I know we'll have one more week after that, but pretty good.
Yeah. And so what are you willing to share before I let you go, Kevin? Because it is such an amazing curiosity factor about Tom Brady calling games. You were on my show a couple weeks ago. You were talking about how you and Tom were already sort of working together and working towards getting ready to call games together this fall. The big one we're all looking forward to, obviously, with the Super Bowl, but starting with Cowboys and Browns. What are you up for sharing about your process with Tom Brady here, Kevin?
Yeah, I think there's two sides to it, Rich, right? I mean, like, anytime you have a new partner in anything, and I've had a few now, you just got to build a relationship, right? And I knew Tom from a working relationship, but I didn't really know him from a personal relationship. So I think that's number one. And we've been doing that and spending time together. And then the second part is we're working behind the scenes, right? We're rehearsing and practicing and just kind of getting used to each other. And he's getting used to TV. And it's been cool. I mean, there's been moments, I think I shared this on your show a few weeks ago, but there's been moments where he just says something and you're like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. And I'm nerding out. And for him, it's kind of commonplace. So I think there's going to be a lot of those moments because we've never heard him really talk about that stuff, So I think there's going to be a lot of firsts for him where people are like, whoa, that was pretty neat.
And is a possibility of adding Nikki Glazer to the booth? What do you think, Kevin? Anything like that in the plans?
We were talking about that. I think that's maybe a 1% chance of happening, Rich. I mean, if that's we'll see. Maybe halftime entertainment
I like
one of these weeks.
So you're saying there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance.
Telling me there's a chance.
Kevin, thanks for the time. Again, great Fox schedule starting with Cowboys and Browns and then Cowboys and Ravens. And congrats again on getting perhaps the biggest piece of filet mignon, which is the Super Bowl rematch in your Super Bowl season.
Thanks, my friend. Appreciate it. See you soon, Rich.
You got it. That's Kevin Burkhardt of NFL on Fox.